How we doing? How we doing? Everyone give it up for Alex one more time. Absolutely hilarious. All right. And give it up for my mom in the back who came to my first Zanies set tonight. Come on. Hell yeah. All right, now quiet down. Let me embarrass her. That's my job. I work at a dispensary, as you guys can tell by my shirt. I love drugs. I love them. Any potheads here tonight? Finger snaps, potheads? Yeah. I can smell it on you. I can smell you didn't wear deodorant. I work at a dispensary. It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of free gummies, but I don't take them anymore because they're just candy. You know, when you get a tolerance as a pothead, they're just candy. You know, the most entertainment I get out of a gummy, I'll place one by an anthill and just watch that civilization collapse. just go to shit. Me and my coworkers, we're not like the brightest bunch. I remember one of my coworkers, he was thinking about the alphabet because that's how we get the orders ready. We alphabetize them. And he's like, Sam, don't you think the alphabet could use some work? I'm like, the thing that's been around for a millennium? Yeah, I guess it could use some work. He's like, I feel like the letter T, it should be like higher in the alphabet, like next to E and F, you know? Because like perpendicular lines that intersect. And I was thinking about it for some time, and I thought, Eric, I don't know if T should be higher in the alphabet, but we should be lower on the food chain. Potheads, you know? I don't know what we're good for, you know? And I get frazzled when corporate comes in to check on us to make sure we're doing our job. One time, I freaked out to look busy. I started dusting a window. It was open. It was open. What am I doing? But I love my job. It's fun. I love being a pothead, and I love other drugs, too. Do we like other drugs? Clap it up if you like other drugs. Yeah. I like the ones that make you think, okay? I like acid and shrooms, and Coke doesn't do anything. The most introspection you get from Coke is a nosebleed. That's pretty much it, you know. I like my shrooms. I like mushrooms. I take it at the Air and Water show every year because I like tripping balls and feeling the rush of the jets in my chest like I'm going to pass out. You know, it's and my friends are growing up. You know, I'm 30. They turned 30, so now they're taking like 6 packs of IPAs to the beach. I'm like, that's cool, but I'm still going to party. And so I broke out like a mushroom chocolate bar. I started nibbling at it this last summer. Started nibbling at it, and then my buddy took it from my hands. He's like, you don't need that, and he threw it in a dumpster. Yeah, took my drugs that I paid for, threw them away. I hope someone got a hold of it. I hope it didn't go to waste. I like to think that like a pigeon got a hold of it. A bird pecked at it, and all of a sudden it thought it was one of the jets at the Air and Water show, you know, until it smacked into a tree. Yeah. I think something cuter would be like a raccoon got into it. It was like, nom, 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 nom. And then just started walking upright like a person. just like got on a bus and shit and started a job, you know. I like acid because acid gets the energy going, you know? And you need energy when you golf with your white friends. Because golf is very boring. Golf is not that fun. And sometimes I take a little bit too much before the round starts. You know, I like to think the golf balls, I start thinking it's like a mother bird's egg that I'm about to tee off. It's kind of disturbing. What's even more disturbing is that when I whack the ball, I like to think that it cracks open into another white guy, and then he starts golfing. and then he does a set at Zanies and disappoints his mom. You know, we live in a gig economy, folks. Jobs are not jobbing. You know, job you love your job. Yeah. That was not the case for me at Starbucks. Do we like Starbucks? Or are we Dunkin'? All right, Starbucks or Dunkin'? Starbucks, yay? Okay, Dunkin'? Yeah, American runs on Dunkin' still. Hell yeah. Mom, you love Dunkin'. I know you do. Yeah, but Starbucks is not a fun job. I felt like it was kind of like humiliating. You know, I didn't like wearing the apron. It made me feel like a wimp, you know? Plus, it kind of hurt my neck a little. I didn't like working there, though, because my boss was a psycho. He used to work for the military. That didn't pan out, so he pivoted to Starbucks. And he treated the whole squad like we were a platoon. That was great. And everything was extremely perfect, down to the T for him, okay? He would say everything had to be perfect for him. He would say perfect, just topping off the caramel lattes. He'd be like, perfect. Imagine hearing that 500 times a day. Perfect. I bet he goes home, he gets tugged off by his wife, and he's like, perfect. And then he returns the favor, and she's like, terrible. Oh, come on, you don't feel too bad for him. He's a jerk. I didn't like him, all right? Yeah, I didn't. And you know what's the embarrassing thing about what I did? I didn't pick up my last tips at the store. I thought it'd be like less embarrassing to just like pick them up from his place. That's normal, right? That's normal, right? I didn't want to like walk in front of all my coworkers and be like, sorry guys, I gotta turn in my gun and my badge. You know, I don't want. So I went over to his house to pick up my tips, my $30 worth of tips, and came across his perfect front lawn and his perfect driveway. He had a perfect car and a perfect front door, okay? And I knocked on it, and it creaked open. The door creaked open, and there was his cat, his pet cat. Guess what his cat said? No, his cat said, kill me. Kill me now. Millennials, I think a lot of the millennials are giving up on having kids. Is that fair to say? Is that a lot of them? And that's fine. Millennials are getting dogs and cats, and my buddy got a parakeet. He recently just got a parakeet. And I feel like bird people would make the best parents. I think they would, because I went over to his apartment, and he's chewing up some Cheez-Its, and then he let the parakeet pick the food out of his mouth. I was just shaking my head. I'm like, you would have been such a good dad. No. Honestly, I want to dedicate as a grandchild. I want to dedicate this set to my grandma. Clap it up for my grandma. The wonderful lady. Buried her last week. That was that's okay. That's our grandmas. That's what grandmas do. They die. That's their job. It's all right. It's okay. I gave a speech though at the funeral. Knocked him dead. That's that dad joke ought to lift your spirits. My grandma, she died in the house, and I could tell her dark sense of humor got passed down to my sister, because when the coroner came and they bagged her up, that's a nice way to put it, bag her up. But when they came by and took her away, they left behind a rose, and we thought it was like a real rose. I was looking at it more. I'm like, this is a fake rose. Mom's like, no, it's not. Let me see that. She's like, oh, this is fake. And my sister grabbed it, and she's like, well, yeah, why would they leave something else here to die? I know grandma's living on through her. Thank you for the joke, Kim. She's here too. Clap it up for her. Thank you. Now, this next joke you guys are not going to be too proud of, but I'm going to tell it anyway, because I wrote it. I love my grandma. When she lived with us, she was awesome. She had a great sense of humor. She was better than a guard dog. She kept the house safe, okay? Grandmas, when you're 95, you make sure the blinds are closed, the door's locked all the way. You're done with the world. You just want to be eaten by your pet house cat. That's all she wanted. And Grandma, what's funny about Grandma is that like at 2 a.m. I'd hear like the tiniest little thuds hitting the front door. Because it's Grandma just hip checking the door to make sure it's closed all the way. Because she weighed like 80 pounds and the door is made of oak. So she was just hip checking it for like 10 minutes, but then she'd forget where she's at. So I just hear these tiny little thuds. And I know she was having a mental skip in her head. She wasn't at the front door. In her mind, she's back in the 70s disco with my grandpa, right? Am I right? That's, disco. One time I had to rip her off the doorknob. She thought it was Grandpa. It smelled like white vinegar. But it tasted delicious, quite frankly, so stand by that joke. I love you, Grandma. I'm going to end on a cuter joke, if that's all right with you guys. Going to go from rated R to PG. My mom's favorite photo of me and my sister as kids is out by the front house. And I was like 3 years old, 4 years old. Kim was like 7. And my mom wanted to take a picture of us, so she told one of us to crouch down. And I was obviously shorter and denser too, so I crouched down. And then Kim crouched down to make up for that height, right? But then I crouched down more because I thought I was supposed to be lower. So it was just two small little white kids basically posing for the rap album in front of my mom's house. We call that album Mac and Cheese for Life. All right, good night, you guys. Thank you.